What's up everybody, Max Parker here, talking about two new pro-style controllers from Scuf Gaming. Now, for a while now, Xbox players have had the Xbox One Elite controller, which is their high-end $150 controller made by Microsoft. It has a lot of extra features. You can swap out the joysticks, and there are paddles in the back that you can map to any buttons. But until recently, there really hasn't been that many options for PlayStation 4 users. So Scuf has made PlayStation 4 controllers, pro-style PlayStation 4 controllers, in the past, but now they're bringing it up the speed so it can directly compete with the Xbox One Elite controller. So last week, Scuf released two new controllers, and we're going to talk about one that's radically different from anything they've done before, and one that's just kind of a refresh of the Infinity 4PS. Now that is their pro-style controller for the PlayStation 4, and also PlayStation 4 controllers can be used for PC now. So these are PlayStation 4 and PC controllers. So first up, we have the Infinity 4PS Pro. Now, most of the changes they made with this controller on the inside, they switched the insides of the paddles so they have a little better feel. They're actually rounded on the bottom to give you more comfort, and these paddles can be mapped to any button on the controller. The stick presses, any of these face buttons, they can be remapped as long as you spring for the electromagnetic remapping feature. And these paddles can also be removed, so if you want to play a game without them, you don't want to accidentally press them, you can actually remove these, which is a new feature in the 4PS Pro. Now, this controller starts at $130 and can get all the way up to $200, so yeah, it's a really pricey controller, but if you're taking your game playing seriously and if you're playing in tournaments and actually competing for money, then yeah, this might be a good investment. So if you don't have a Scuf controller now or don't have a Pro controller and you're thinking about getting one and you're a PlayStation 4 user, you might want to consider the newest controller, which is the Impact. Now, up until now, Scuf made improvements to existing controllers that were out there. So like the DualShock 4, the Xbox One controller, they threw on paddles and everything, but the skeleton of the controller was basically just a DualShock 4 or an Xbox One controller. But now with the Impact controller, which is for PlayStation 4 and PC, they've made it wider and they've completely changed the grips. So it feels more like an Xbox One controller, which is actually more comfortable, if you ask me, than a PlayStation 4 controller. And that freed up some more space to actually fit 2 extra paddles. So you have 4 rear paddles on the Impact rather than every other DualShock or Infinity 4PS Scuf controller, which only fits 2. So the Impact controller, I've used it for a while now, and it's actually probably the best controller that Scuf has ever made. It just feels more comfortable. These paddles feel fantastic. You can remove them just like the Infinity 4PS Pro. It's a really fantastic controller, and the best thing about Scuf controllers is their versatility and how you can customize them to your liking. So you can swap out these joysticks whenever you want. If they get worn down, or if you want domed sticks or concave or longer or shorter, you can swap them out. If they get worn out, you don't have to get an entirely new controller. You just swap out the sticks. You can make the triggers longer so that you can fit an extra finger on there. You can turn them into hair triggers. You can even change the color of these. As you can see, these are Pittsburgh colors. They're black and yellow or black and gold, depending on your preference. But you can make these colors anything you want, from the button faces to the controller itself to the trigger colors. So you can really customize them to make these kind of your own creation, and so you're comfortable with them. And that's really the most important thing when you're competing in video games or using something that you would, using these high-end controllers for something like a tournament. Like, you want it to be comfortable, you want it to work for the game that you're playing, and Scuf really offers that. So I'm still working on them. I've used them for a couple days now. I still have to do some more, put some more work into them to actually put out the full written review. For that and more, be sure to follow me on Twitter. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on there at GameGuyPGH. And for the full review, be sure to check out Post-Gazette.com. Thanks so much for watching.